What up, y'all? I'm back with you today. I wanted to talk to you about, I've been hearing a lot about, just from people that I know, that I know a couple people that have broke up with, narcissists in the last, several months. And, what I continue to hear from different individuals, and I hear it online too a little bit, but people that have dealt with narcissistic abuse, empaths, that they feel that the narcissist, that they have given them some sort of a blow that has injured them bad enough to where they can never come back to them, like they're Hoover proof. And what I want to say to that is don't ever think that, because you are always at risk of Hoover from a narcissist. And to make matters worse, when you expect them to never come back because you have supposedly injured them to a place that has hurt them so bad that they would never ever think to try to Hoover you again, is weak. It's weak thinking. The narcissist loves that kind of stuff because they're going to eat that up, and they're going to come at you, and that they're going to get you when you least expect it. Tell me this, since when have you ever seen on National Geographic that the predator, the hyena, the wolf, whoever, the lion, got to where, they decided that they're never going to, they wouldn't target a particular animal anymore, to feast on. Listen, the narcissist might have got injured, but they don't stay injured. Just like you or I, a lot of times you can have somebody offend you, and you might be pissed, and you might say you're never going to speak to them again, right? But the fact of the matter is if that individual gives you enough time and they come at you on a good day, when you're having a good day, and they don't ruffle your feathers, and they're kind to you, you're going to speak to them. You're going to accept an apology. You're going to say, well, you're going to forget all about it, probably. And I'm not saying that that's always a good idea, but this is exactly what the narcissist does with whatever injury that you think you gave them for life. And on timing, the narcissist doesn't really believe in time. So, time is not on their schedule, when it comes to how long they may be away, because they have other sources of supply, and when they're in a relationship with another source of supply, then they are not thinking about you unless a couple of different things, and one would be if you continue to stay on no contact, they will start thinking about you. But it doesn't mean they're going to come back to you right away, or they're going to try to hoover you right away, because their pride is through the roof. And so with their pride being through the roof, it makes them wait it out as long as they can. And in the meantime, even if it bothers them, they're still going to be with somebody else and other sources getting distracted. And for very much of the time, you may think that you aren't even susceptible anymore. And that is weak thinking as well. And I've been there. And then I was proved wrong. And so you have to be vigilant, and you have to always be prepared that a Hoover may happen today. At least, for the first, couple of years, you want to stay very vigilant. I mean, you need to always be vigilant with the narcissist. You can never let your guard down. But I say especially the first 2 years, because you just want to be able to break every tie and every addiction that you have with them, and any kind of, the feelings. You want the feelings to fade. When the feelings fade, that does help, but it doesn't ever, make you could never think that you're strong enough that the narcissist isn't going to bother you, in certain cases, maybe so, but in most cases that people think that, the narcissist is afraid to come back, or you've injured them so bad they'll never come back, or they should be so embarrassed. And what you have uncovered about them, maybe them being a covert narcissist, and all the things that you've seen that they've been hiding. Listen, man, it's funny because they have a lot of pride, but after a period of time, 6 months or so, that injury is going to wear off. And at some point, you're going to get triggered in their mind and in their head. You're going to get triggered by somebody that they meet or see, or that's wearing something or doing something that you did. These are times where the narcissist gets triggered, and you pop into their head. And when you pop into their head, they are also, at a certain point in time, that injury that you gave them, whatever happened, that's in the past, man. And that's forgotten. Now, they may be keeping score, and if and when they get you back, eventually they're going to remember those things, and remember to make you pay for whatever you did that hurt them in the past. Now, they'll remember it like that, but when it comes to them having envisioned you in their mind, as seeing you people that remind you of them of you, and just thoughts that pop in their head, or they run across a picture of you two, or anything that triggers them. They're very impulsive, and just as the narcissist has cheated on you out of impulsivity with another source of supply, they're going to do it or try it with you when those moments occur. So unless you have them completely blocked, and you have moved, and they have no way of finding out where you are and what you're doing and how to get a hold of you. They're gonna attempt to come see you, and either in person. If it's been a while, it may be in person, or it may be, a small text, or it could be a long or a short email. I've had a lot of short texts, and I've had lots of long emails. Like emails that would show up like an empath that was that was unknowingly that they were dealing with a narcissist and they're pouring their heart out. So when they want you, they will do anything to get you, and they will lie any which way they need to, and it will seem and sound sincere. They will seem like a new individual, and they believe their own lies when they're in situations like this, because they are in a survival mode, and this is predator hunting. And this is where, now I always say that they're B and C class actors and actresses, right? But when it comes to certain periods in time, they are Hollywood material. And when it comes to Hoover situations, all right, now that's good acting. But this is the thing, it's so good. They're really terrible actors, but this is not acting. They believe this. They believe this. That's why it's so good. So to them, it's real. They gaslight themselves. They gaslight themselves more than they gaslight you. And so a lot of times they're to some degree a lesser narcissist, or an unaware narcissist may know, there's something wrong with them, they're different, whatever. But an unaware narcissist is almost in autopilot, and they're not even understanding necessarily sometimes or able to process exactly, to some degree, what they're doing or how it is being registered and taken on our side of things. See, you're talking about, we're humanity to its core, right? The empath, because we understand emotions and the emotional field very, very well. And if you've waken up to this, and or you may be a super empath who has understand some of the narcissistic constructs, because we have come out of, the super empath has locked down some of those narcissistic traits. And if we have the ability to walk those paths, we've dealt with some of it in our younger years, and by the grace of God didn't become that, but had the ability to perpetuate that curse, if we didn't have grace, the grace of God. So we have the ability, especially when you wake up and you're able to reflect. It's not like you really knew, you know, until you woke up exactly some of the pathways you were walking down. But when you wake up to this, you understand this. So, you know, we know it's fair. And in a sense, the super empath, just like when you wake up, I don't know, I know that there's a lot of empaths that get really damaged, man, and they never seem to come out of this. And you know, at some point in time, you know, when the super empaths wake up, they kind of understand like how to deal with these individuals and to defend ourselves, and to come at the narcissist with some of their own juice and do things back to them in times of dealing with them. Like flipping the script on them, if that makes sense, but not in a horrific way that they do, but in the discard fashions and in ways to make them feel increasingly insignificant, to where, you know, we're the type of empath that bucks back. And sometimes you don't have to buck back because you blasted first. And so that's some of the construct of how the super empath is. But my point is like you have to turn that when you wake up to this, or you know you're being manipulated, you know you're in injustice, no matter what you're fiending for, no matter what is going on. See, the super empath would be the one that says no way. I mean, you cannot walk with me down a road where there's injustice and there's maladaptation, and we have the ability to give a lot, but at some point in time when we see we've been played with and we wake up to being played with and full on have the title to put narcissism with and wake up to this, no matter what happens, we get out of this and you got to turn this energy into something powerful. You know, I mean, before you met the narcissist, you had a plan in your life. You had a construct, you had a regimen, and you know, my point's to help you build. That's why I put this channel together. I put this channel together because I have been hurt so bad in all my years, and to find out that I've been dealing with this one thing between multiple people, everybody, a lot of people in my life, man, family. I had to leave my whole family. You know, I had to leave a lot of friends. I had to, you know, deal with a lot of destructive relationships before I completely understood what the hell was going on. And and I am successful. You know, thank God I didn't have any children with these individuals, but I had to turn it around. I had to really turn it around. And you know, at some point in time, it really, you know, it really, it was difficult, but it wasn't, I knew that's what I was going to have to do. So it wasn't horrendously difficult to where I could just never get over it, you know? But you got to understand, like, a lot of my relationships, I've read this in a book, I've heard this before, that they can take up to half the time that you were in the relationship. And I mean, God forbid if you were in one of these for 20 years or something, you know, I hope it doesn't take you 10 years to get over it. But for mine, I've had some 10-year relationships, 2 of them, and they took, you know, 5 years to get over. But I didn't just, you know, mope and eat and get unhealthy and drink and, you know, become labile and, you know, not think and read and educate. No, in fact, those are the things that I dove into. At least I dove into these things at you know, 3 times of whatever I was doing before. Maybe 3 or 4 times I had to amp it up. I had to turn it up, because part of what pushes you, what pushed me, was when you've been condemned by all these narcissists in your life, and especially after you've woke up to it, in the event of being afraid of being nothing, just that alone got me to drive to make sure, man, I am not going to be whatever the hell you said I was going to be. I refuse to be. And you got to get your fight on. You got to take that negative energy and say, well, if I'm going to be ruminating, and if I'm going to have a shit day anyway, because I can't get this stuff out of my head, I have to get motivation and get up and do something to increase my worth. Because if you don't, you're going to be walking into the energy of all of the curses that they've been telling you you're going to be. And I don't want to see you do that. And so that's why I'm making this video right now, because I mean, a lot of people can fall into the trap of, I'm going to sit on the couch and I'm going to eat a lot of food and I'm going to watch TV and I'm going to wrap myself in a blanket and I'm going to be a minimalist and walk in this depression. But that's not ever going to get you in a good spot, a good space. It's never going to get you in a place where you are victorious. You can never give up on victory. You can't. You can't, and if you do, I get it, but you should be ashamed of yourself. You've got to, when you break up with a narcissist, you got to work 3 times as hard, 4 times as hard, and you got to double everything up. You have got to, wherever you were before the narcissist, you had a regimen, right? Okay? You had a regimen, you had a life out there. You can reflect on it. You can reflect on it. And my point is you got to go back to those spots. Before you met the narcissist, what were you doing? What did you look like? What kind of money were you making? How healthy were you? How motivated were you? Okay? Wherever you were there, you need to increase it 3, 4, 5 times. You've got to push yourself. And you will find happiness. Because in hard work, you get wholeness. You get purpose. You change it. You change your energy. And you can never walk in depression forever when you're giving life everything you got. Chances are you've never given life everything you've got. But you can give it 3 to 4 times more. You can do it. I've done it. You can do so much more to where you turn around, look at yourself and say, I would have never thought I could do this. But you have to use that negative energy that you may be in, that space. And if you have to take it out on bettering yourself, man. You have to get to I refuse to lose. I refuse to lose. I refuse to see those fools that have beat me down, and I feel like I'm beat down into the lowest valley of the earth. I refuse to stay here, and I refuse to let them defeat me. You have to have that spirit. You have to. And, that's my point today. And they will try to Hoover you. So don't ever think that they won't. And we're going 27 minutes, so I'm going to let this go. But give me a thumbs up, give me a like, give me a subscription. Talk to me in the comments if you have any thoughts about it next podcast. I'm going to try to get this channel revamped on Friday and maybe increase its worth. Give it some aesthetics. But anyway, yeah, stand tall, soldier up. Peace out. Love y'all.